How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Donch Show. Today we're going to be doing the fight weekend recaps. Definitely Ryan Garcia having a huge win. Okay, so hey, sorry about that weird introduction right there. Let's get more excited about this episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Big Donch Show. Today we're going to be recapping this past weekend's fights. All right, we saw Ryan Garcia come back off his loss. Gervonta Davis comes back facing Oscar Duarte. This fight, I was saying, wasn't no tune-up. Definitely, though, Ryan Garcia had a good performance at the end, though it was definitely questionable among boxing fans. We also saw Mickey Conlan lose. All right, and that was really it. Just a lot of Twitter beef and a lot of just boxing beef, really, that happened in the news lately. But let's get right into it. Before we get started, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to comment down below. We're doing live shows from now on. Let's get it going. Hey, I get it. The views aren't there. I'm talking to myself a lot of the time, but it is what it is, right? And I'm talking to myself right now, and that's okay because hopefully maybe people will come back and watch it. It is what it is. The goal is to have fun. I'm going to try to chop off some shorts and maybe post them as well, of my show. But it is what it is. It's a struggle. I'm talking to myself, but I'm still having a fun time, still having a good time talking about boxing, talking about the things that I love. So anyway, Ryan Garcia faced Oscar Duarte. He lost against Gervonta Davis, and that's okay. That's okay, right? People bashed him his whole career, saying that he didn't fight enough of top talent. Fight Gervonta Davis, and he ends up losing. People still bash him. Well, come on now, pick one. You want him to fight somebody good, he faces someone good, and Gervonta Davis, he loses, people still bash him. He can't win, alrighty? He shouldn't be caring about that. He comes back, faces Oscar Duarte, wins by KO in the 8th round, wins the WBA Gold Super Lightweight title that was vacant. So good for Ryan Garcia. Let me tell you, I had it scored 4-0. Okay, then it was eventually 5-2, and then the 8th round came, shook him up. He was doing a lot of weird shoulder rolls. Right, we saw it started happening more. That's because Oscar Duarte, a very good pressure fighter, I noticed, and I knew going to this fight, the way watching Oscar Duarte's highlights, his training. Like, this guy was actually legit. Like, this is not no tune-up for Ryan. And respect Ryan for taking it. This was not no tune-up. A good pressure fighter. I knew this was going to be a tough matchup for Ryan and a good test for him. First bout at 140, but he does it. He does it. He was using more jabs. Defense still wasn't there. I had 4-0 though, like I said, in the first 4 rounds. Definitely close though. Wasn't no beat up, I felt like if it was to go to distance, well, anything could happen. And it seemed like that. We saw the shoulder rolls though. The pressure had Ryan Garcia on the ropes a lot. That was no good. Ryan Garcia, you never want to be in the ropes in boxing. It doesn't matter how comfortable you look. You never want to be on the ropes because, well, that might not look good for the judges. The judges might not favor you if you're on the ropes. So that was not a good thing for Ryan Garcia. And then he started to circle in about the last 2 rounds. I'm thinking he might run out of gas soon. But he landed some shots, that quick hook. One of the best hooks in the game. You can hit Ryan all you want. He might not be a top-tier boxer right now, but he has one of the best hooks, one of the best hand speeds in boxing. As simple as that. Respect to Oscar Duarte, though. He's a good challenger. He's a good challenger, and, anybody, he's a good test for anybody. Sort of like an Isaac Cruz, basically, right? Even though Isaac Cruz put up a way better fight against Gervonta Davis than Oscar Duarte did against Ryan Garcia, it was a good test, all right? And he's a good test for any boxer who might be lacking in defense, maybe lacking in power. He'd be a great one. His style reminded me exactly like Isaac Cruz. I mean, maybe it's that Mexican style. Take a punch, give a punch. But good for Ryan Garcia, man. That brings us to the question now. Rolly Romero, probably one of the worst. And I respect every boxer who steps in the ring. I still respect Rolly Romero, but he probably is one of the worst champions right now, and one of the worst champions of all time. And I respect him. I respect every boxer who steps in that ring. I'm not dissing him as a person, but let's just be real. All right, I can't think of another word to use for the word worst, but he's not a good champion. He's not a good champion. He faced an old man, and it was kind of a robbery, right? They stopped the fight early. He ended up winning it, and I mean, it was kind of disputed. It was embarrassing, and now he holds a champion. He won the vacant WBA Super Lightweight title. He won that back in 2023 against Ismael Barroso. Alrighty, 40 years old. It was bad. It was bad. And I saw that thinking, how is this dude champion? He got knocked out by Gervonta Davis. And I don't know. It's just weird how he won that. So this is why I think Ryan Garcia, if he wants a title shot, if he wants it, this is the perfect one. And yeah, call out him because, well, I don't think Ryan Garcia beats Teal right now. That's fair, right? I don't think he beats Prograis right now. That's fair. Well, go after the weaker champion right now. He's still building up. Ryan Garcia really doesn't deserve many title shots because he's still trying to build his career. But Rolly Rivera does not deserve to be champion. So go after it. Go after it. Try to get that belt while you could. I think Garcia beats Rolly Romero. After the fight, Rolly Romero posted on his Instagram story of him sparring Ryan and beating up on him. It's a weird move to do that. All right, you never post sparring highlights. You never do that. You never post sparring footage, especially if it just just don't do it. You just don't do it unless both fighters consent to it. Maybe they did, but either way, why would you post it like to diss someone? It's just embarrassing in the sport. Rolly Romero should not be champion. He is. Well, I'm going to root against him. I want to see Ryan Garcia face him. Now that press conference would be pretty fun, righty? But I think that's what we need to see next. A lot of people are calling for it. Let's make it happen. The styles are weird. Rolly got a weird style, a very weird style, I'm sure we all know. And Ryan Garcia is fast, but Rolly is fast too. I'll admit, he does have some power. He has 13 wins by knockout out of his 15 wins, so he does have power. But I think that it would just be, him versus Garcia would be a good fight that we want to see and we should see. As simple as that. Well, that was that big fight weekend. The card was kind of weak, right? We saw Schofield dominate Floyd Schofield. He was pretty good, quick and explosive. He got the stop done in one round. His opponent fell like 4 times. Now, will that last if he gets to the distance? I don't know. I think he'll gas more. He's really muscular for a lightweight. I don't know how it's going to go in the future. I mean, he'll bump up, right? He's too big. He's too big, like naturally too big to stay at lightweight. I can see him going all the way up to middleweight. He's small in height, but muscle-wise, he's pretty big. I can see him going up all the way to middleweight, but he's definitely exciting. He knocked this guy down 4 times. It was crazy in one round, the first round. It is what it is. We saw Shane Mosley Jr. I don't know about that performance. He won, but the performance was kind of weak. He was the guy who was stopping the stool. I got it mixed up in the beginning with Garcia and Duarte, but either way, that was that past weekend. Then we saw Mickey Coleman, who I root for because why? I'm Irish, and I like to see Michael Coleman do good. He fought this week. He was struggling lately. He was coming off a loss already back in May against Luis Lopez. He faces Jordan Gill this past weekend, and he loses by TKO in the 7th round for the vacant WBA International Super Featherweight title. I was a bit upset about that because, especially his knockout loss to Leia Wood in the 12th round for the WBA regular featherweight title back in 2022 in March, I was like, this sucks. Like, this sucks for him, really. And I was rooting for him. But he's been struggling lately, man. I don't want to see the downfall of him. He's at featherweight, bumped up to super featherweight, and still lost by TKO. I don't know what's next. I mean, featherweight some dogs, super featherweight some dogs. I don't know if he'll ever be a real champion. He won the WBA interim featherweight title in 2021 against TJ Doheny. But other than that, he doesn't have a real belt to his name. I mean, he never beat anybody. So I don't know. He's not any lineal champion. I don't know if I'll ever see it. I mean, 2 of his real title defenses for the WBA regular featherweight title against Leia Wood, lost. For the IBF featherweight title against Luis Lopez, lost. But hey, one thing that no one can ever take away from him, he was an Olympian. He won the bronze medal in the 2012 Olympics in London, so you can never take that away from him, but it sucks to see that. Other boxing news, not much. We're just seeing a lot of gossip, like I've been saying. A lot of gossip, a lot of people going to Twitter. Shakur Stevenson's been annoying lately. I like Shakur Stevenson. I think he is the best lightweight. I think he's the best lightweight in the world. I really do. But he's annoying, and he talks a lot for somebody who runs. And just because, I mean, he runs, but I just think nobody beats him. I think his style, even though it's boring, it's still boxing. And because of that, I feel like nobody beats him. But other than that, there really has been nothing outside of it. Nothing outside of boxing this weekend. We do have Regis Prograis versus Devin Haney this Saturday. I'm going to be doing a live stream for that fight. I'm excited about that one. Definitely excited about that one. Haney can definitely lose this one. Prograis's power is insane. That definitely can happen. Let's take a look at Prograis's resume. He's a champion. Alrighty. He lost to Josh Taylor. Obviously, Josh Taylor is the former undisputed. That's his only loss. He has 29 wins, 24 by knockout, 5 by decision. He lost by majority decision in 2019 against Josh Taylor. That was for the WBA, IBF, and the ring light welterweight titles. He won the vacant WBC light welterweight title against Jose Zepeda in 2022, so that was last year. He defended against Danielito Zarilla in 2023. This is June. But he also won the WBA light welterweight title in 2019. But he lost it again against Josh Taylor. So, has a lot of power. Has a lot of power. I like to see it happen. Well, it is happening. Haney will not knock out Program. The only way Haney wins is by points. So, that is not going to go in favor of Devin Haney. Listen, Lomachenko, which I think he won, I'll say every time I bring up that fight, but Lomachenko doesn't have power. And I still think Lomachenko outpointed Devin Haney. Devin Haney really never faced guys with power. George Kambosos, not much power. George Kambosos was explosive and fast, but he didn't have power. He didn't have one-punch power. Prograis does. One hook for Prograis, I feel like it's going to be dangerous for Haney. I don't know if Haney's chin was ever tested, really. And none of Haney's opponents were ever tested, right? I mean, we saw George Kambosos go back-to-back fights, beat up on the face, but never went down. Went to the cards both times. And he was getting outpunched, outlanded every single round, alrighty? If that was happening against a guy with power, George Kambosos would have been in trouble. I mean, George Kambosos had no head movement in those fights. And Devin Haney still couldn't put him down. Maybe he did put him down, I can't remember. But either way, he didn't knock him out, alrighty? George Kambosos still finished both fights. So, his powers really never tested. He barely did any much to Loma. So that's going to be an exciting fight. I'm going to be live streaming that fight. But the main reason why I want to do the show today is because Ryan Garcia won. I was very excited to see it. He's back now. We got to see more from him. I want to see him versus Rolly for a championship fight next year early. There's so many fights that we won. 2023 was a great year for boxing. It's closing down. We still have some good cards. We still have the great card in Saudi Arabia with Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder, Otto Wallen, DG Bivol. We have a lot of good fights happening still the rest of the year, but 2023 was great for us boxing fans. 2024 still has a lot of potential, starting with Usyk and Fury. That's the fight that we really wanted this year to top everything off. It was supposed to happen in December. Didn't happen. It is what it is. We still get it, though. At least it wasn't canceled. But yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to me on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Make sure also shout out to the Potter Brand Podcast. I'm out, guys. Peace.